Welcome to my latest YouTube video. I'm Ross Rosenberg. I'm the author of The Human Magnet Syndrome and the creator of the Codependency Cure. Today I'm going to talk about my relationship math concept. This concept is deeply intertwined with almost everything that I do, whether it's my Human Magnet Syndrome work, which is my how and why work, or my Codependency Cure work, which is the what to do work. You guys who have followed me know quite well that I love metaphors, I love analogies, I love any type of psychological, artistic, graphic device to help people understand complicated phenomenon, complicated dysfunctional forces, to help people understand what they cannot get to just by the discussion of the problem by itself. And that's why I created the dance metaphor for my Human Magnet Syndrome work. You know, once I explain how people, opposite individuals who love to dance, the leader and the follower, find each other and they feel comfortable in that dance, and one has to give up power and one has to take power. That metaphor actually was the basis for what would become my Human Magnet Syndrome work. So that my relationship math idea comes from a source that I believe goes all the way back to when I was in college. And I remember posting a saying back in the days, whenever I came across a saying that had meaning or impact to me, or something that I wanted to become or strive to understand better, I would post it on my bulletin board. And I can't remember exactly what the saying said, but it was the foundation for what would become my relationship math idea. Before I explain the relationship math concept, let me read it. And of course, you're going to see it on the screen also. A half and a half, codependent and a narcissist, equal 1. This sum represents a half relationship comprised of enmeshed independent individuals. 1 plus 1, or healthy partners, equal 2. This sum represents one potentially healthy relationship comprised of 2 healthy, interdependent, self-loving partners. 1 plus 1 plus 1, parentheses, healthy partners and the healthy relationship, under parentheses, equals 3. This sum represents an enduring and healthy relationship comprised of 2 emotionally healthy partners who have self-love and who take special care of their relationship. What I've done is I've reduced the Human Magnet Syndrome driven relationship, the SLD, the codependent, and the narcissist, into a very simplistic mathematical equation. Please do not overinterpret my use of half people. To understand the relationship math, we have to understand what the fractions stand for. A half and a half. What I'm talking about is not a half person, but a person who never learned how to love themselves, never learned to embrace their true, genuine, authentic self, who doesn't have self-esteem, who needs another person, needs a relationship to feel connected in the world, who runs into relationships that are unhealthy because of this deeply embedded pathological loneliness, this bone-aching feeling of just not being good enough, not feeling lovable enough, expendable. That pain, that intense, scorching pathological loneliness is supported by what I call core shame, which is the fundamental belief that you as a whole are just not good enough, flawed, broken, not lovable. So when you are an SLD, and you meet another person, you carry your core shame and your loneliness and your addictive need to take away the pain of that, and you end up falling in love with a pathological narcissist. Well, that's the Human Magnet Syndrome idea. So I consider that a, quote, half of a person because you didn't develop self-esteem, the ability to love yourself, respect yourself, and care for yourself. And that deficit propels you to find another person who, just by the act of being in a relationship, will somehow take away the pain of the loneliness and the shame. So a half and a half is the codependent, the SLD, and the narcissist. The narcissist is very similar in the fact that they are lacking, hugely lacking self-love, self-respect, and self-caring. The difference is the narcissist is not aware of it. But trust me, it is deeply embedded in their personality disorder. And they, as much as the SLD, need a relationship, need to be with a person who they can dominate and control to feel okay, to escape their loneliness, escape their shame, and their similar addiction. So the SLD and the narcissist, according to the human magnet syndrome theory, when they meet each other, they are going to recognize each other and see the person that they've always known in their life. They are paradoxically going to feel safe. They are paradoxically going to recognize or feel that this person is familiar. The paradoxical safety is best explained by if you were raised in a family and all you knew was how to be invisible, how to mold yourself into a certain type of person that would make the narcissist happy, which is your attachment trauma, because you were born to a narcissistic parent and more than likely another codependent or SLD parent, that you learned at a very young and vulnerable age in your attachment phase that love and someone's appreciation requires you to change yourself to be what they want. And because your ability to do that, you got the love and the attention of the narcissistic parent. And if you are a child in a bigger family, you will know that if you can't mold yourself or become the extension of self for the narcissist, the likable, the gifted child, the trophy child, then you are like an enemy to the narcissist and treated with harsh disdain and resentment, which explains why in families where there's a narcissistic parent and a codependent mother, that you can have children who become narcissists when they get older and children who become SLDs or codependents. But that's not why I'm doing this video. So if you only have experience with this type of love, your security in a relationship is based upon being able to be the person that you are, utilizing the relationship skills that you learned, and realizing that if you can fulfill the role of the SLD, the giver, the forgiver, the altruistic person, the forever trying to make the person feel good when they treat you badly, if you can fulfill that, you will feel loved. And because you don't have any experience with self-love and boundaries and being independent, you are scared to death of being in a relationship with a person who is too healthy because that's not familiar. What you know about relationships won't apply. So the SLD is magnetically attracted to the narcissist because their psychological deficits, their core shame and their loneliness and their relationship addictions, they draw each other to the relationship and make them feel at ease and at peace within the relationship. If you are so deeply damaged, so deeply traumatized, so afraid of being with a healthy person for fear that they will leave you because of your fundamental belief, your core shame that you're not lovable enough, you will find this relationship with someone who fits the dance partnership. The narcissist, the codependent, the SLD, narcissist dance partnership. So essentially, the SLD needs the pathological narcissist in a relationship so that they feel good about themselves. This becomes a relationship that requires the dysfunction to keep it alive, to keep it together. Because if the narcissist should not be narcissistic and needy and greedy and entitled, they will not want what the SLD's biggest fear is, the person who is broken or not good enough. The SLD, if they should be healthy, they won't want a person like a narcissist who is harmful and hurtful. So these half individuals, the SLD and the narcissist, come together because of the safety and the comfort in the relationship. They feel whole because of the relationship. They don't feel whole or a one because of themselves. They require the relationship to make them feel alive, make them feel happy, make them feel satisfied. Because by themselves, they live in a constant state of sadness and loneliness and negativity. So the half and a half equals one. The SLD and a narcissist equals an enmeshed relationship of two damaged individuals who need each other to feel good about themselves. The second part of the relationship math is that 1 + 1 = 2. And here, the one represents a healthy individual. And I'm not talking about perfect. I'm not talking about someone without problems, but someone who loves themselves. Someone that can respect and care and love themselves independent of their problems and mistakes. This is a person who is not only self-love abundant, but has individuated from most of their important relationships. Namely, the most important one was the parent-child relationship, where they don't need their loving parent to make them feel capable, make them feel smart enough, make them feel important enough, because they have that inside. And simply speaking, I call that self-love abundance. So when two self-love abundant people meet, they do not need a relationship to make themselves happy, because they already are happy, even with all their faults and their flaws. And when you are that way, and you should meet someone who is not like yourself, who, for example, is an SLD or a narcissist, it doesn't feel right. You want someone who similarly doesn't need the relationship to make themselves happy, because you understand that you don't want to take care of someone. You don't want to sacrifice any part of your life in order to make another person happy. Now that said, and I should say in a healthy relationship, it is normal to take care of one another and to sacrifice, but it's almost always reciprocal and mutual in many different ways and respects. So the 1 + 1 is a healthy person who's attracted to another healthy person. And if you have read my relationship compatibility theory, or my book, The Human Magnet Syndrome, in which that theory is available in, you understand that the human magnet syndrome is still at play. You can be on the self side and the other side, not codependent narcissist side, but the side where you enjoy taking care of people and you're healthy, and the side where you enjoy taking care of yourself and you're healthy, and be in a relationship where there's mutuality and reciprocity. That is the ones of this explanation. 1 + 1 = 2 is a healthy, self-loving individual who are matched relationally, come to a relationship and find love and connection because the relationship enhances their self-esteem, enhances their self-concept, enhances self-love. It is not necessary for it. And as such, this is a healthy relationship of two individuated, self-loving adults who can grow together and grow individually. And if they should be separated or there should be a problem, they don't freak out or get upset, because they understand that they are enough to solve a problem. And if they need the help, the support of their lover, their best friend, their partner, they can also seek that, because there's this understanding, this mutual understanding, is that they take care of the person they love most, which is both themselves and their partner. 1 + 1 = 2, and 2 equals a healthy relationship. Now, the last part of the relationship math explanation is 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. And basically, the self-loving individual and the other self-loving individual, and the commitment to the relationship. And let's, just for mathematical and symbolic purposes, let's call the relationship a person. So when there's a commitment of self-love, self-development, and self-growth, and that fulfills the healthy relationship, and then there is a commitment to the relationship in itself, just like a commitment to a child or a commitment to a parent, is that you set aside some of your personal needs just for the relationship. It's not necessarily the same as taking care of someone because you love them, healthy or not. It's a commitment to building on things that are good, is fixing things that are broken or just kind of over time needed repair. So when a 1+1 relationship comes together and they have problems, then they will seek marriage therapy, or one of the partners will go to individual therapy. And they do that because of their commitment to the relationship as much as their love for themselves and the other person. So in summary, my relationship math concept, I believe, is crucial to my self-love recovery treatment program. First of all, it's a simple explanation for what is SLDD and pathological narcissism. It's a simple explanation for the human magnet syndrome, compelled and frozen relationship. It's a perfect explanation for the outcome of my self-love recovery treatment program, which is to take SLDD, a person with self-love deficit disorder, and through the treatment process and build them and help them heal and help them become the self-love abundant person they always needed to be, so they can be the one to find the other one. And I believe it also realistically reinforces or teaches people that a commitment to the relationship is just as important as a commitment to the person. Although it might seem the same, there are subtleties of differences. So I hope this explanation will be helpful to you. I hope that you are a 1, and if you are a half, that you are motivated to be what you always should have been. In fact, I love the quote by George Eliot: "It's never too late to be what you might have been." Nothing is more simple than this beautiful statement. You always were meant to be self-loving in a relationship with loving individuals. But because of bad circumstances, bad luck, you didn't get to choose your parents. You grew up being the SLD, the half person. Well, you were always meant to be a 1, a full number, not a fraction. And you can become that. And then you will realize the beauty and the splendid, wonderful experience of self-love and in a relationship with another self-loving person. I've gotten there. It took me a while. But once you experience the 1 + 1 = 2, or the 1 + 1 + 1 = 3, life changes. What was rusty, old, broken metal becomes shiny, sparkly gold. You can do this. So thank you for joining me in this explanation of relationship math. I hope that my videos, including this one, is helping you achieve your birthright for self-love. If you would like more information, please write me at help@selfloverecovery.com, or subscribe. We have a subscribe button down here, and make sure you get for notifications so you know when my latest videos are coming out. Think of going to selfloverecovery.com, my Self-Love Recovery Institute, where you can find my educational self-help and personal development products and services. Take care and be well.